Issue register is a useful tool to organize, to maintain, and especially to prioritize weaknesses in a given process that are identified throughout a process improvement project. Issues, which are weaknesses in the process, might be identified already before the process improvement project is kicked off. It might be, for example, that the whole purpose of the process improvement project is to address the issue that certain instances of the process take too long to complete. Therefore, the issue that certain instances of the process take too long to complete is already given as input to the project. But sometimes issues are collected as part of ongoing process improvement actions, like for example, via customer feedback. Continuous customer feedback collection can lead to the identification of issues, or sometimes process workers themselves can be encouraged to identify on a continuous basis issues and to feed them to the process improvement team. Another typical source of issues is process discovery. While we are discovering and in particular modeling a business process, we conduct interviews, we conduct focus groups, and as we start asking stakeholders to describe the process to us, they are also going to start raising issues, complaints, weaknesses that they see every day in the process. Finally, another input of issues is value added and the waste analysis we saw before. As we do value added analysis, and in particular we identify non-value added activities, or as we start identifying different sources of wastes, we are going to identify issues. In essence, potentially any source of waste or any non-value adding activity that is seen as having a significant impact could potentially become an identified issue of the process. So as we go along in a process improvement project, we will collect a number of issues, and the question will raise of which ones are worth addressing. That's where the issue register kicks in. The issue register is in essence a table with a number of issues, one issue per row, where every issue has some identifier, a short name, a description of the issue itself that will allow stakeholders or workers in the process to understand what are we talking about, and an analysis of the impact of this issue, whether that is qualitative impact and or quantitative impact. In some cases, especially when analyzing quantitative impact, we have to make a number of assumptions, and therefore we might include those assumptions as part of the documentation of an issue. And also, as we go along in a process improvement project, we will have process stakeholders not only proposing or raising issues in the process, but also potential resolutions of these issues. And those potential resolutions proposed by different process stakeholders can also be part of the documentation of an issue in the register. In the case of relatively small improvement projects, we might maintain the issues in a relatively flat table, but in larger process improvement projects, it is more often the case that we will start using specific tools known as issue trackers to keep track of all the issues that we manage to collect during the discovery and analysis phases.